Yes, Mataji, please. Please accept my humble obeisances, August Shibra. I think Guru Maharaj is joining, Mataji.
Very good.
He's connecting his audio.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances, August Shibra. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho. Guru Maharaj, are you able to hear me?
I'll be right with you.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
To the internet here. I'm trying to use somebody's phone here for connection, and I can't figure out how to do it.
Guru Maharaj, connection is very bad. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Did you try calling Guru Maharaj? Because he
Yes,
was
sir.
asking about it's not working, is it?
Yeah, I couldn't understand what Guru Maharaj said. That's what I was thinking.
No, what I could heard is he said that call him, and then
I think he's I understood that he's calling somebody else there to help him. Like that.
Okay, maybe.
So
Let's wait.
yeah. It is, yeah. I'll try to call him otherwise.
You hear me? Hare Krishna. Can
Yes,
you
Guru
hear
Maharaj.
me?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we can hear you. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare
Can you
Bol,
hear
Guru
me?
Maharaj. Yes, Guru Maharaj, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
I think I can hear you good, yeah. Okay, we can continue with
Yes, Guru
Damodar.
Maharaj. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah. Today's verse is 10.9.19, Guru Maharaj. I'm just sharing my screen. Please take over, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Guru Maharaj. Now we can hear you. Are you able to see my screen, Guru Maharaj?
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Krishna.
I'm sorry, I just have so much trouble internet. I can't, I just unable to function here.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
Okay, translation. O Maharaj Parikshit, the entire universe, with its great exalted demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahman, Lord Indra, is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet the Supreme has one transcendent attribute. He comes under the control of his devotees. This is now exhibited by Krishna in his pastime. Srila Prabhupada's purport. This pastime of Krishna is very difficult to understand, but devotees can understand it. And therefore it says, Darshayam stadvidam lokam atmanam bhaktavasyatam. The Lord displays his transcendent attribute coming under the control of his devotees, as stated in the Brahma Samhita. Ekyo pyaso rachitam jagaranda kotim yakshakshir asta jagaranda chaya gyarantam andantarastam paramanu charantarastam govindamari purusham tamaham rajane. By his one plenary portion as Paramatma, the Lord controls innumerable universes with all the demigods. Yet he agrees to be controlled by a devotee. In the Upanishads, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can run with more speed than the mind. But here we see that although Krishna wanted to avoid being arrested by his mother, he was finally defeated and Mother Yasoda captured him. Lakshmi Sarasya Satasam Brahmasevyamanam. Krishna is served by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. Nonetheless, he steals butter like one who is poverty-stricken. Yamaraj, the controller of all living entities, fears the order of Krishna, yet Krishna is afraid of his mother's stick. These contradictions cannot be understood by one who is not a devotee, but the devotee can understand how powerful is unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. It is so powerful that Krishna can be controlled by an unalloyed devotee. This Britya Vasyata does not mean that he is under the control of the servant. Rather, he is under the control of the servant's pure love. In Bhagavad Gita 1:21, it is said, Krishna becomes the charioteer of his driver Arjuna. Arjuna ordered him, Senaya Ubayar Madhya Ratam Stapaya Me Chuta. My dear Krishna, you have agreed to become my charioteer to execute my order. Place my chariot between the two armies of soldiers. Krishna immediately executed his order, and therefore one may argue that Krishna also is not independent. But this is one's agyan or ignorance. Krishna is always fully independent when he becomes subordinate to his devotee. This is the display of Ananda Chinmayas Ras, the humor of transcendental quality that increases his transcendental pleasure. Everyone worships Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he sometimes desired to be controlled by someone else. Such a controller can no one else but be his pure devotee. Umagyantimidandasya Himanajana Savakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Desitarine Panchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Evacha Atitaram Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Prabhupada sometimes would use the example, sometimes a man who is very rich and can eat any way he wants to eat, might, he's accustomed to getting fine foods and all of the fine ambiences that come with having fine foods and luxuries. Sometimes he just wants some puffed rice. Sometimes he just wants some puffed rice. That's his prerogative. He can have the best of anything, but sometimes he wants something different or something simple. Or sometimes Prabhupada would also say, he used the example of one governor. I think he was in Bengal, and someone wanted to see the governor. So he came to the secretary and asked for an appointment. And the secretary said, well, the governor's busy right now, but if you wait, you'll be able to meet him. And the person went into the waiting room and he's waiting. After an hour of waiting, getting a little impatient, what is the governor doing? So he decides to go near the door where the governor is staying and peek inside. So he did. And what did he see? He saw the governor on his hands and knees with a little child on his back, and he's running around the room playing horsey with the little boy. So here he is, this big governor. He's got big responsibilities to run the state, but he's pushing all that aside just to play with his little grandson, and he's enjoying it. So this is Krishna. Krishna may decide just to be captured by his pure devotee, who is just a lady who is taking the role of his mother. She has a stick in her hand and he's afraid of the stick, and she's after him and he's running and he's fearful. And here Prabhupada uses the example Yamaraj. He's the controller of everybody, living entities. And he fears the orders of Krishna. Yet Krishna is afraid of his mother's stick. So how can we understand this? Well, you can't. But one who can enter into the mood of love can understand clearly. Love takes different aspects of itself, and love has the power to control. When someone loves you and it's genuine, you somehow want to reciprocate that love, even if the person asks for something from you that is not common for you to do, because you know there's love there. So love has that power to attract and to captivate. But that love has to be without anything else but a pure element of itself. So when pure love is there, Prabhupada said, only a devotee can control Krishna, because only a devotee can have pure love for Krishna. Maybe even the non-devotees may regard Krishna. They may fear Krishna. They may even worship Krishna, but they don't really have any real genuine love for Krishna. What is that love? That Krishna attracts their minds and hearts in such a way is that all they can think about is how to please Krishna, how to serve Krishna. So in the role of a mother, Mother Yasoda is doing her service. she wants to do her chores. Everything in the house is meant for Krishna's pleasure. And therefore, she wants to do things to make Krishna happy, to provide for Krishna, to protect Krishna. But Krishna is doing something else. So, in order to carry on her services to Krishna, she has to restrict him from doing other things. And it looks like she's punishing him. But what she's really doing is restricting him so she can serve him in so many different ways. And Krishna likes that. Sometimes we see that a person who is beyond reproach, a great personality, who, he may be a big man in some field or a big person in some area, but sometimes someone in a lesser position will tell him what to do. We were just talking today about the relationship between Srila Prabhupada and Tamal Krishna Goswami. How Prabhupada trusted Tamal Krishna Goswami with so many responsible services. And he could also do things in terms of bringing other devotees to Prabhupada who would never get a chance to see Prabhupada just because he wanted to show the mercy to that devotee and bring him to Prabhupada. Prabhupada accepted it. And we also were reminiscent that many times Tamal Krishna would even disagree with Prabhupada over certain issues and express his opinion. And some Prabhupada would also listen, and sometimes, not all the times, would agree, yes, I think what you're saying is a better idea. So we see how love attracts and it contradicts. It has no, love is like a river that keeps going no matter what obstacle the river may encounter. It'll go around the trees, it'll go over the rocks, it'll go under the caves, in the caves. The water just keeps going because by its force, it somehow overcomes all obstacles. So love is like that. So the whole purpose of our Krishna consciousness movement is to develop love for Krishna. But developing love for Krishna is to come back to who you actually are. Because each and every one of us has not just love for Krishna, but ecstatic love for Krishna. But it's covered. So practicing how to love brings out the love. How to love means to express feelings of love, even though these feelings are not what we say genuine. In other words, act in a loving way, and if you practice acting in a loving way, you'll start to actually act in a loving way in the real sense, and it's no longer practice anymore, it's the real thing. Why? Because love is our nature. So Mother Yasoda, who is she? She's apparently this lady from a village. She's a cowherd lady. And she just, she's not like expert in philosophical debates or anything like that. Of course, she's way beyond that because she's understood the purpose of all philosophy is to serve Krishna with love. And in a role of a mother, and he's in a role of her child, she knows exactly how to show love from the point of view of a mother, as a protector, as a one who cares, one who caresses, one who loves, one who nourishes, one who satisfies. one who chastises. So Krishna doesn't see any difference between Mother Yasoda showing her sweet side or her, what we say, chastising side, because it's all the same. It is love for him. And therefore, he is attracted to that. And Prabhupada wants to make this clear. This is only for devotees. The non-devotees can't love Krishna because just the fact that they're not a devotee. One has to become a devotee to love Krishna. One has to purify their life by practicing loving devotional service to Krishna, which includes glorification of Krishna, which includes hearing about Krishna. Mother Yasoda, when she was churning the yogurt prior to Krishna appearing to come and to be nourished by her, she was singing the songs that she had composed by her own intelligence on the glories of Krishna. She was remembering how Krishna had killed Putana, how he had been taken away and then sped up in the air by Srinavarta, and how by the power of his devotion, of the powers of devotion of the devotees that's seen by the residents of Vrindavan, Krishna killed these demons so easily and so naturally. So Prabhupada makes another point. He is Bhagavan. One of the qualities of Bhagavan, he's full in all riches. And yet he's stealing butter, acting like one who's needy. He's never needy, but it's just his playful nature to act in such a way that he appears to be doing something that is mischievous or what we say unusual. But that's him. It's Krishna. So no one can understand Krishna. We're trying to explain something, but we can't really penetrate the mysteries of Krishna's understanding. Because, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, hardly anyone knows me in truth. Well, we can know enough about Krishna to love Krishna, and that is enough to bring us back to Krishna at the end of life. Tattva Purna Janmani 19 love. And one can return again to the spiritual world, where life is natural. One doesn't have to role play. To love and serve Krishna is the occupation of the residents of the spiritual world, the only occupation. So, yeah, the greatness of Krishna is that he can be so powerful that he can destroy a universe simply by his glance, or he can be so small and insignificant that he cries when he's being chastised for stealing butter. He's not one-sided. Just like sometimes we say, teacher, a real teacher is a teacher who can teach all grades. There's some teachers who can teach the lower grades, and there's some teachers who can teach only the higher grades. But a competent teacher is one who can teach all audiences, no matter what grade they're in. A person can be everything and at the same time still be himself. But he is attracted and controlled by the love of his devotee. And that's what this pastime is all about. He comes under the control of his devotee, he comes under the control of their love. And when you reflect upon it, you can only become amazed because now we it's just the cause of all causes, the all-powerful force, and unbelievable, impossible to comprehend. Okay.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances always to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for explaining this verse so wonderfully. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead and please turn on your cameras if you can. Thank you. While others are thinking, so I was just thinking like it's, I don't have any question, but I'm just commenting that Krishna does a lot of these things like doing all sorts of things, like as you said, he's like in a playful mood, but people doesn't understand and they take only one particular thing and they just follow that one. So yeah, that's very true. That's very problematic, I think, for their consciousness. But I just I was observing like how people think, like if why he steals butter and why he went behind gopis and why he steals their clothes. And so like these pastimes, when they hear, they don't understand the actual point in that. But they take it as superficial or materialistic way. That's what I see.
That's all they know. And there's a tendency to try to understand things from the point of view of your own experience. But that doesn't work with understanding Krishna. Therefore, you have to accept the words of the acharyas. Otherwise, if you try to speculate and understand beyond your ability to understand, you will fall into the world of just conjecture. It may be like this, or maybe like that. Some thought comes to your mind, you kind of agree with that, or maybe you'll change that after some time. But therefore, we hear from the great authorities who clarify everything by their devotion, and because they're and then they can communicate that to us in their words, which are coming in the form of transcendental sound. So, using the example of Srila Prabhupada, so we accept Srila Prabhupada as a pure devotee of the Lord, who came and on the mission of the Lord to spread Krishna consciousness around the world. So we accept that he's an empowered incarnation to do the work of the Lord in the world. So therefore, we can accept that whatever he says and whatever he refers to as, we have no problem with that. We don't have to speculate. We don't have to experiment. Experiments already been made. All we have to do is accept.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, yeah.
It's like would use the example, little child may not know nothing him by the father, it's pizza, but it's perfect. the power, it becomes the authority. So the pure devotee is the authority, and therefore we can accept whatever they say. We don't have to experiment. The realm of material life with the scientists and the academic initiations, the philanthropists, and the great thinkers is a world of speculation. It's a world of speculation. They use their own empiric evaluation, maybe their own experiences, and trying to put everything together and come up with some inclusive evidence. But it's always wrong because there's no authority to that. Prabhupada would say, who are you? Qualification to understand the Supreme Lord. Who has given you the authority to say it's like this or like that? You're simply going on a false sense of knowledge. There's knowledge going up is always faulty. There's knowledge coming down is always perfect.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you so much. Sridevi Mataji, you have any question?
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, this pure devotion and pure love that the pure devotees have for the Lord, for them it's only Krishna all the time. What does Krishna want? What will make Krishna happy? How can I take care of Krishna? They have absolutely no thought of themselves or what they need or what's happening to them, nothing. But being mixed devotees, we are sort of all the while worrying about ourselves or thinking about ourselves or planning something for ourselves. And on the side, we do something a little bit for Krishna. So how we can change that mentality and understand that we are actually nothing but servants of Krishna and we are meant to serve Krishna every moment.
Well, you have to hear from the authorities. And you have to accept the proper authority. So the proper authority is the Lord, who makes his knowledge known through the Shastras and empowers his pure devotees to speak on his behalf. So Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra are the 3 points of transcendental knowledge. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Shastra is the word of Krishna. Guru is the pure devotee who acts on behalf of Krishna. And Sadhu is the great souls who are also pure devotees who have set the stage for the knowledge that is being received. So it's easy. We don't have to do anything. All we have to do is accept and repeat.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you so much.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji. Scarlett Mataji, you have a question.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your holiness, Candramauli, and all glories to all you devotee. In my understanding, when I read the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, there are places that Lord Krishna himself says, I am the controller of everything, the senses, the everything. So I wonder, could it be that he chooses us to be in certain way sometime, and then he chooses to move it away? I don't know if I say my question right, so that it will not be like offense. It's not off. I just want to understand, have I understood it right, that he is the controller of everything? And he chooses how we... Yes, I'm sorry.
This material energy works under my direction, and by its will, it's producing all moving and non-moving entities. By its will, it is created and annihilated again and again. So everything material is controlled through the power of the Supreme Personality, Godhead. And from the spiritual platform, he is the source of everything spiritual. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Nadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarna Karna. So the scriptures illustrate very clearly that in all aspects of existence, both material and spiritual, Krishna is that force that makes everything happen or acts in such a way as to bring about as a result. So yes, he's everything. When you understand that, you're free.
My next question is in Bhagavad Gita 16, 1 to 3, in purport says about not good thinking, not way of good of thinking, behavior, which is it's like almost like suicide to think that way, to behave that way, even to think that way is a suicide. And that makes me worry, because how much I try to do everything I can to just focus in what I read, what I understand, learn about it. Sometimes my thoughts fly away, not to the bad things, of course, but still it fly away to, I wonder if I should call my son. I wonder what he's doing, because I noticed last week he didn't, I heard something, and so on and so on and so on. So, and now, because I read this, I am worrying that even what I think, not that I do, not that I act, only that I think, it's like almost like suicide, depending on what I'm thinking, of course. Have I understood it right?
You're thinking to Krishna. That's Krishna.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't hear what. Please, please
Can you
forgive me.
please repeat? Sorry.
Change your thinking towards Krishna. Okay, you have a choice what you want to think about. Think of Krishna. Think of devotional service. Think of chanting Hare Krishna. Think of serving the devotees. Think of making plans for further services. Think of something in relationship to Krishna. Don't waste time with material thoughts.
Sorry. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, go ahead. Any more questions or comments, devotees?
Yeah. Remember, the whole process is to think of Krishna. we have, every moment we have a choice. What we're going to do, what we're going to think about. Our mind becomes so strong that it pushes us in certain directions. We have to practice thinking of Krishna. Just like we're speaking now, and soon the call will end and we'll all go do something else. So what are we going to do next? Are we going to do something that is spiritual? Something that is necessary for the household affairs? Are we going to, what are we going to do next? Is it going to bring us Krishna, or is it going to take us away from Krishna? We should be thinking, always planning how to think of Krishna and serve Krishna. Krishna's there, not that he's just an idea, he's personally present.
You have any comment, Scarlett Mataji?
Yes, I have learned about that children, it's like when you do something for them, when you are there for them, it's like you're there for Krishna. It's like you're doing service. Even that calls service for Krishna. Is it right?
Can be material, can be spiritual, depends. What is your consciousness? Consciousness makes the difference between material and spiritual. Activities can be either one of the two. You can't say this activity is material, this activity is spiritual. What is your consciousness? Therefore, Krishna says, Yat kapasi yadanasi, yat yahosi dadasi yat tapasi tukontiya, tat kuru shamararthana. All that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, all austerities you perform should be done in 27. So the activity is secondary, the consciousness is first.
And does this answer your question, Mataji? Scarlett? Okay, thank you. Any more questions or comments, devotees? Krishna Guru Maharaj, I don't see any questions or comments.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still working on this internet. Hopefully it'll get better. I'm trying my best here, but not so easy. But
Yes, Guru Maharaj,
hopefully it'll be better.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, yeah, we are also waiting for that.
So the time, yeah, the new time for US is 1 hour earlier, and the new time for India is 1 hour later.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. No, it's later for us also, Guru Maharaj. It's like previously it was last week 7 a.m. Eastern, but now it's 8 a.m. Eastern this week.
Oh.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. And November 6th again US changes time, so then we'll be back again to same original time, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
Just only this week we have changed, Guru Maharaj, for USA. From next week again we'll go back to original time, Guru Maharaj. Like it will be 7 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, that's okay. Enjoy 1 week of
Yes, yeah,
excess freedom.
yeah. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for joining and giving us this nice lecture and nice question answer session. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. We look forward for your more classes and nice internet connection. We can see you. We can take your darshan as well, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you for devotees for joining. We'll meet again tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Raj ki jai. Thank you.
Jai.
Thank you, Guru
Okay.
Maharaj.
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We'll be here the next